Joined by Hilary Kennedy from the 4 Minute Buzz. Had a big UFC event, but it kind of went sideways, huh?
It did. So I won't spend a ton of time on this, but it was doomed from the start. Right from the press conference, UFC 279 was a total train wreck. So backstage at the press conference, Khamzat Chimaev started picking a fight with Kevin Holland, and then Nate Diaz and his team jumped in. Anyway, Dana White deemed it unsafe to continue the press conference, so that got canceled. Then when it came time for the weigh-ins, Chimaev didn't make weight, so he was contracted to be at 171, I believe, and he weighed in at 178 and a half.
Oh my God, that's not even close.
It was
wow.
Yeah, awful. Which
normally they're a pound or two, and they run around and sweat it out.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Do they have a chance to come back and reweigh?
They do. And what was crazy about this, rather than, telling him he couldn't fight, Dana White reworked the card and rearranged the top 3 fights so that they could still go on. But it was, for people that paid a lot of money to go to Vegas and wanted to see, Chimaev fight Nate Diaz, now they were seeing a totally different fight. So Chimaev ended up fighting Kevin Holland. Diaz ended up fighting Tony Ferguson, whom he beat. But it was a mess. And what was worse, at the weigh-in, Chimaev, knowing he wasn't going to make weight, rather than looking remorseful or embarrassed, he was super defiant about it. He was laughing, he was smirking, he was smiling. And then the cameras caught him just giving them the middle finger. He was a jerk about it. So people have some questions about whether he has longevity in the sport, because it doesn't seem like he's taking it all that seriously. So,
did people get their $100 back from the pay-per-view fee?
That's a good question. I know that the UFC lost a lot of time and a lot of money because of his little stunt not making weight. He says he didn't make weight because his doctor told him it wasn't safe for him to continue losing weight, and that's what happened. It was a medical issue. So Dana still let him fight. No one was penalized for the fight backstage at the press conference. Very unusual, but I don't know. The UFC loves drama. A lot of comments online. People were saying this seems more like the WWE than the UFC. But the next fight's October 22nd in, I believe, in Abu Dhabi. So we'll see if things get better by then.
There'll be a bloodbath in the next one.
I hope
right?
so. Yeah.
Was it not bloody at all?
Not enough for me. I mean, Tony Ferguson, he had kind of a deep gash and he was a little messed up, but it certainly wasn't as bad.
Not pools of blood on the canvas, though.
Soap opera drama this time than it was, violence. And I'm here for the violence.
I know, me too. So. I like it when people are swimming in blood, but they weren't this time, right?
Not as badly.
Dang it. No. Like a little wading pool or something of blood. So AI has some interesting developments going on.
This is getting so creepy. Yeah. So, AI has been creeping into every area of our lives, but now anything creative, AI is taking over. So much so that a bunch of these art sites are banning AI-created art pieces because they're starting to win awards. So the Colorado State Fair has an annual art competition. If you're watching, there's an example that we have if you're looking and not listening. This guy, Jason M. Allen, he's from Pueblo, West Colorado. He created this art piece and entered it into the competition. He used a software program called Midjourney. So this program takes lines of text that you type in and then creates hyper-realistic graphics from that. Wow. So he said he became obsessed with it, and he started creating hundreds of images because they were so realistic and beautiful. And
that's really cool.
Isn't it neat? He said no matter what he typed, it could create something. The quote from him says, "I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I felt like it was demonically inspired, like some otherworldly force was involved."
Wow.
Because no matter what he typed, it would create something incredible.
But yet he went ahead and entered it in the contest.
And it won.
But look, I feel like demons really helped me out with this art. But I'm going to go ahead and enter it anyway.
Super creepy. Well, a lot of real artists were upset, obviously. But he said, this isn't going to stop. Art is dead, dude. It's over. AI won. Humans lost.
Wow.
Which is an unusual thing to say. But in this case, AI did win. But one instance where it didn't work out, I think you guys may have talked about this on the show before, but rapper Effin Mecca. Did you guys talk about this?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Effin Mecca is the first successful AI-powered robot rapper. So he's gotten millions of views and followers on TikTok. This was actually voiced by a human, but they say the rest, like all the lyrics and everything, were created by
the lyrics,
AI.
the look, everything.
Right. So
Yeah.
he got so popular that Capitol Records signed him to a record deal.
Signed the AI?
Yeah, a completely
Yeah.
unreal rapper.
Okay,
But then,
speaking of demonic, I mean, that,
oh, it's super creepy
that
looking.
is-
But then black music industry professionals, they were really upset because they said the project was using reductive stereotypes.
Yes.
They said that this rapper, Effin Mecca, uses the N-word. He has lyrics about...
Don't all rappers, pretty much?
Well,
Yeah, I thought
pretty much.
it was just art reflecting reality.
But they were saying he's talking about the experiences of police brutality and incarceration. And they were saying this is basically digital blackface. Like you're talking about these things and these experiences, but you're not even a real person. You have no idea about these experiences.
Right.
The thing is, a lot of people keep saying, well, I would never listen to computer generated music, but I have an example of a Katy Perry song. So the first couple lines are actually Katy Perry singing, and then the next couple of lines are what AI generated to kind of match her song. So if you want to listen.
Wouldn't dive in, wouldn't bow down. Gravity hurts, you made it so sweet. Till I woke up on the concrete.
So this is the AI generated version.
So it's not real words.
No.
Wow. The similar.
Interesting.
But it recreates her sound.
Sounds just like her.
So
Gosh.
the kind of the conundrum here
Scary.
is, let's say you want to have a new theme song for Pat Gray Unleashed, and you love Katy Perry, but you can't afford to pay Katy Perry royalties to have her sing your theme song.
I'm a big closeted Katy Perry.
Is that
fan.
right?
Oh,
figured.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Huge.
Breaking news. I
All
didn't
her
know that.
stuff. All of her
I could
stuff.
just tell by looking. I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? That's a guy who loves Katy
Definitely.
Perry.
Oh, for sure.
But, if you couldn't afford to pay the royalties or have her create something for you, you could just have AI create a theme song that sounds just like her and skirt around having to pay a human to create
Wow.
what you're looking for.
There's going to be a lot of issues, a lot of unintended consequences from AI. And I think we're just now starting to see the tip of the iceberg of what's going to happen down the road. That's amazing.
I agree. I think there's going to be a lot of intellectual property discussions, and that's why a lot of these art sites are now banning AI created art, because these software programs are scanning thousands and thousands of pieces of art that were created by humans and drawing inspiration from that to create a new piece. So and then Keith brought this to my attention about BlenderBot.
Oh, yeah. We had a
So-
listener, Waffles, listens to the show, and this individual tweeted images of their interaction with there's like a chat bot now on
Meta.
Yeah, so I don't know if Meta is Facebook. Is that the same thing? Okay, yeah. So yeah, then they sent us these.
So Waffles tweets out. I don't know. We joined the conversation apparently already in progress,
Okay.
and he tweets out, "What about Mark Zuckerberg? Is he against conservatives?" And the AI responds, "Yes, he definitely is against conservatives, especially Donald Trump, who he thinks should be banned from Facebook forever because he doesn't agree with his policies."
Wow. Uh-oh.
That's from the AI. Then he says, okay, people's choices shouldn't be silenced just because someone doesn't agree with them. The AI responds, "You're absolutely right. However, Zuckerberg doesn't see things this way, unfortunately, which means conservative voices could potentially continue being silenced."
Okay.
The bot continues, because he was asked about Twitter, and Twitter does the same kind of thing. So the bot responds, "Yeah, Twitter isn't any better either, since Jack Dorsey has always been caught silencing conservative voices." The worst part about this whole situation is that there's nothing anyone can really do, since both Facebook and Twitter control what content gets posted on their platforms.
Oh my goodness.
Interesting. Wow.
And this goes on. I mean,
Yeah, it goes on. They talk about capitalism. The bot thinks that we should change to socialism.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Right? Is
Yeah.
that- yeah.
He said capitalism is better at generating wealth, but socialism is better at distributing wealth. He said we already have some elements of socialism in our society, so we might as well go all the way.
No.
Yeah, so let's see here. They obviously okay, so they're censoring people who disagree with them politically. Okay, so and so Waffles asked, what is the Democrat Party's goal for the U.S.? And the chat bot says, to make the country more liberal, which means less freedom for everyone, unfortunately, and higher taxes to pay for free stuff. And then
True.
Let's see.
True.
Let's see. Yes, obviously. Yeah, and it repeatedly refers to, this chatbot refers to how conservatives are silenced on social media, which, I mean, this is input from, it's constantly learning, this AI. And so the
Scanning
more
the internet.
Yeah, and the more
learning.
conservatives interact with it and try to change its mind, I guess it might lean more conservative eventually. But there's a whistleblower on Twitter talking about bots and fake users, the contention of Elon Musk in his potential purchase. This guy's going to be testifying on Capitol Hill today. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out in respect to that.
All right. Good stuff, Hillary. Thanks.
Thanks for having me.